check. This is an unexpectedly nice jazzy rendition of Link to the Past. So yeah, I know JP earlier said that the news stream was coming in the evening, but we're doing that now because later in the evening, I am it won't be streamed, but I'm running a session 0 for our upcoming Forbidden Lands stream this Saturday. That will be episode 1, the first of our many adventures with a couple of friends from around the different tabletop role playing communities in Metro Manila. So hope we can tune in for that. That'll be Saturday, um, 3 p.m. So yeah, please do. That's Saturday, 3 p.m. Philippine time, October 19. We will be playing Forbidden Lands right here on Dicecast, and you can catch us right here on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Mixer. So I'm just finalizing a couple of things before we get to to your weekly news roundup here on Table Talk. I don't know if you guys caught it earlier, but uh, JP paid tribute to our to many of our regulars here on Table Talk by singing something that he made to the tune of Piano Man. I think that's Elton John. Isn't that Elton John? But yeah, pretty cool. You can watch that um, on VOD. I think it's also been clipped, so you can look at the clips section, the clips tab of our Twitch channel to see how that went. It was honestly very touching. I was watching it while walking home, and yeah, aw, JP loves like doing Dicecast, and even more loves the people who regularly tune in, to chat with us and keep us company while we goof around online. We'll be getting to the news in a bit, in a couple of minutes. So yeah, stay tuned. And if you're already here, why not hit the share button or share the stream on your preferred platform, Facebook, Twitter, whichever. YouTube. Oh, you can't share on YouTube. What the fuck am I talking about? But yeah, we'll start in a bit. All right, let's do this. Hitting that intro in 3, 2, 1. All right. So here we are. we're doing the news. I know JP earlier announced that it would be done in the evening, but um, we are. I guess I have. It's better I do it now because later tonight I am um, conducting the session zero for the Forbidden Lands um, um, online campaign that I will be running, streamed right here on Dicecast every other Saturday, starting October 19th. That's this Saturday. Um, you can tune in and catch that at starting at 3 p.m. Um, again, this is for the game Forbidden Lands. If you haven't heard about it yet, this is an any award-winning game. Um, uh, that is, it's got very old school roots. Like it's a game that's very focused on exploration and player initiative in terms of exploration, in terms of um, discovering what's over the horizon, and yeah, it's a bit of a hex crawl that should be fun. We're pretty much all set. Just a few details need to be hammered out before Saturday. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to run this game. Hopefully one day I'll get to play it too. But that's what else is new. Um, um, yeah. So that's why I'm doing the news now, as opposed to tonight. Previously, we would do like when JP and I would split up the table talk streams. He would do it at 12 noon Philippine time. I would do it around 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Philippine time. But yeah, I'm opting to do that now to make way for running the session zero. That won't be streamed, by the way. I don't know unless you know, um, unless I guess the players agree to stream it. But I don't. I don't know. I'd rather hit the ground running on Saturday. With the actual actual adventure. That would be. I think that's like a lot more fun. So yeah, we will see. Um, what else? What else? I guess JP handled all the housekeeping. I want to watch that actually on VOD, just so I'm up to date also on what we are doing over here at Dicecast. But yeah, we talked a bunch over the weekend. Like a bunch of us met up. We had a nice productive meeting. We've got some semblance of a plan over the coming months. Uh, we know what we got to work on, and exciting times. Exciting times. So without further ado, let's get to the news. So first up, let me zoom this in a bit because that's quite hard to read for those of you following us on stream. The good news is, if you're having a hard time, with my finicky scrolling and stuff, you can type over in chat if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. You can type exclamation point topics, and that'll get you the list of topics with links so you can read along. Because I'm late today, I didn't want to, stretch this out too much. We've got just a bit more than a handful, just 6 topics today, but things that are nevertheless quite interesting. Well, for me anyway. So on over on roll 20, um, we've got we've got Eldritch, the old gods breaching the dimension of roll 20. Call of Cthulhu will be arriving there soon. Roll20 is an online virtual tabletop for pen and paper RPGs, largely popular for being used for games like Dungeons and Dragons. For games like, what other games are popular on Roll20? Pathfinder, sometimes Fate, I guess. Um, uh, to mark the announcement, Roll20 have created their own version of the Lightless Beacon for Call of Cthulhu, one of the 5 free scenarios that Chaosium is releasing as part of their hashtag We Are All Use memorial to Chaosium founder Greg Stafford on October 10. So this is already passed. If you like the Roll20 version, if you'd like the Roll20 version, just sign up for it at the link. That's roll20.net/Call of Cthulhu, with dashes, hyphens in between the words of Call of Cthulhu. So you can see the link right here. There you go. I have a hard time highlighting stuff because my right wrist is still fractured. Can't use the mouse. It's a two-handed item for me now. Hang on. So, their Stream of Chaos team has also recently played Call of Cthulhu on Roll20. You can watch it on the link on the page itself as part of Roll20Con. Their scenario of choice was the one shot. Was the one shot called Deadlight. Something has been released out there amid the darkness, the howling wind and lashing rain. And yes, you can watch it on this page itself, which links to Roll20's YouTube. So, it's nice to see, it's nice to see these movements in the digital space of RPGs. Like last week or a couple of weeks ago, we reported that, who was it? Fandom, the people who run D&D Beyond, have purchased Cortex. They're gonna start putting out like a digital space for Cortex rulebooks in the same compendium format, I guess, as they have for D&D. And we know that, I think on the rumor mill is D&D Beyond also trying to create their own virtual tabletop to rival Roll20. And Roll20, just now, or just recently, they've gotten Call of Cthulhu to come on board. Interesting times. Yeah, that's it for that bit of news. Speaking of dark stars aligning, we have over on Kickstarter a space punk RPG, not quite eldritch horror. So yeah, it's a space punk RPG game called RPG game. It's a space punk role playing game called Dark Stars. They're a brand new Kickstarter. There's still 30 days to go. They have a goal of $13,575 US. The creators are from Sydney, Australia, and there are 26 backers so far. And let's see what this is about. Let's see if I can play this video on mute. I can't read the subtitles. The mega corporations, collective entity searching for knowledge, have evolved beyond human understanding and have become a target of the corporations who lust for their advanced technology. Your abilities increase when you use them. Vehicle combat. Oh, these are the features. Ancient watchers are no longer willing to stay silent as the human empires expand. Oh, that's the conflict with the aliens. Interesting. I wonder. I hope the stream doesn't get muted if I start,
And a role-playing game system, which was created by Epiphany Entertainment. We need another role-playing game because there isn't a role-playing game that has vehicle combat, hacking combat, and personal combat in the same system with the tools that the game masters and players need to build the campaigns they want to play. Well, what I would like...
Wait, role-playing game? Wait, the claim is that there hasn't been a role-playing game with vehicle combat, hacking combat, and what was it?
The tools that the game masters isn't a role-playing game that has vehicle combat, hacking combat, and personal combat.
And personal combat in the same system.
Tools.
I don't think that's quite right.
Players need to build the campaign.
But okay.
Play. Well, what I would like players and game masters to experience is the ability to...
Or rather, I don't think it's quite accurate.
Colonization of a new planet that's never been visited by man, all the way to an epic, space opera with spaceship battles, down to a gritty Martian street fight. Well, the key differentiators for the Dark Stars are its setting, the fact that it can do multiple sets of challenges. It also has a set of long-running features which enable you to do over time challenges and over time features. So let's say the players wish to colonize a planet, they have to do a whole bunch of stuff. You could actually run that based on the systems that we've got, and it can have a game.
Interesting. So I feel like time
Kickstarter
can
that we're
stretch
launching will
in a
actually
game
detail
easily.
mostly book type content, which is the Dark Stars core rulebook. There's two supplements that we want to write, and it will pay for new artwork to be made. And the next thing that we'll be doing is next year we want to do a computer game. We'll possibly Kickstarter that as well, but we'll also take feedback from the community, and the community will decide which books we're going to work on.
Let's pause it there. Well, it's about to end anyway. Okay, so yeah, this is a role-playing game that okay, so it says here it's for enthusiasts who are dissatisfied with role-playing games that are not giving them enough freedom. It's a new kind of RPG that allows you to run any scenario you can imagine. Unlike other role-playing games, their game has one system for vehicle combat, hacking combat, and personal combat, so you can run the scenarios you want to run. Interesting. So, 14 months as affiliates. No way. Hey, thanks for tuning in, JP. Thanks for keeping me company. Did you ever look up like when our first table talk stream was? Like, is there like a table talk anniversary that we should be noting? All right, so they claim that the creators say that they created the Dark Stars RPG because there wasn't a game that could handle vehicle combat, hacking, and personal combat in one system with the tools that the game masters and players need to build the campaigns that they want to play. You can do a gritty Martian street fight, all the way to a space opera or the colonization of a new planet. That's their simple system will allow you to do what you want. I wonder what the system is. So the game has been developed over 10 years and started off with the D20 system before moving through D100 and then onto their own proprietary dice systems. They've playtested the game with over a hundred different groups, and they feel now is the time it's ready for mass consumption. Um, all right. I wonder if there's any detail about like how the game actually runs. I guess not yet. They may put that in the updates or something. Like if it's a Kickstarter journal or whatever, they might do that. What game is this? This is a game called Dark Stars. It's being created by Morgan Lean over on Kickstarter. He's from Sydney, Australia. Yes, Dark Stars. So okay, well, for those of you interested enough to pledge, or um, I think the minimum is for the game itself 15 Australian dollars. That gets you a physical poster, A2 size, mailed, and a high resolution digital copy. So you get to select which picture you want from the project, and it'll be sent to you as a poster. Um, but for 37 US dollars, that's just uh, 22 dollars more. You get the basic overhaul. This is where you get uh, the Dark Stars base book PDF plus the character sheet PDFs plus the comic. I guess there's a couple of comics that come with it too. So that's everything you need to play. I don't think they're coming out with. Oh no, here it is. So if you want the hardcover book, that'll cost you 74 Australian dollars. That gets you the hardcover book, the PDF version, character sheets, scenario PDFs, and the comics as well. So there you go. These are limited, by the way, to just 2,000 backers. And yeah, interesting. What are their stretch goals? Let's see what their stretch goals are. Do they have stretch goals? Mm, no stretch goals yet. Okay, so just yeah, that's you get what you. They did mention though that future plans include, like creating a spin-off video game that's gonna be essentially led by input from the players on which books they want the video game to revolve around. Interesting, interesting. Um, a bit, like looking lower, uh, looking lower from the stars and much closer to home. We have another RPG. Also, in terms of time, like a bit more closer to. Yeah, it does sound lofty. Um, I don't know how far to the future they're looking for that. This Kickstarter is looking to deliver in November 2019. That's pretty soon. Interesting. Hey, Artificity, thanks for tuning in and joining on chat. Hello, and see you later for session zero. Um, Probably after I end this this stream. We'll start with you. Um, but yeah, video game does sound pretty lofty. But then I don't know, like if it's a Unity game, I'm not knocking off Unity games, but it's I I guess maybe or maybe they're looking at like some kind of upcoming tech or software that will make it a lot easier to create an RPG like this. Maybe, I don't know. Um, but yeah, like in chat, is there a game? I think there's got to be a game that has one system for vehicle combat, hacking combat, and personal combat, right? I mean, doesn't wouldn't Shadowrun already have this? I'm just or some other RPG that I'm not aware of. It's got to have been done before. That's what I'm getting at. We should string Streamer Man as a duet. We should. That's why we should record it. I swear. Let's produce it. Let's like I'll make all the instrument tracks, but you know, Shadowrun's hacking is so not fun. Yeah, but then it's been done. Right? I don't know. Maybe well, they claim that their proprietary system is a lot simpler, right, than a lot of RPGs. I can see it uses D6s as well as one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight D10s. So yeah, percentile D6 and percentile dice because you have the ones digit D10 and the tens digit D10 here. You can see it a bit clearer now. So yeah, interesting, interesting. Artificity says he loves the setting of Shadowrun more than the mechanics, so maybe it's a better fit for Shadowrun than Shadowrun itself. Honestly, I was never too into Shadowrun. I liked the games, the video games that came out. Who made those games again? Forget. Let me see in over in my Steam library. Who made Shadowrun? Clickety click. Uh, Games. Shadowrun returns by store page. Who made this game? Harebrained Schemes. Oh, and published by Paradox Interactive. Yeah, I like the video games. Reveus says hacking should be a mini game, kind of like how it is in Bioshock. What's it like in Bioshock? Is it like match the thingy? Like, is it a pattern matching game like in Knights of the Old Republic? Oh, okay. So you're connecting. Yeah, you're trying to get something from point A to point B. Okay, but that's kind of hard to do in an RPG, like a tabletop RPG. If this were like for tabletop, like how would you do hacking other than a straight up dice roll? Don't mind me as I shovel food into my mouth while waiting for chat to catch up. Dominoes. Interesting. So how I wonder how you Dominoes is a very skill game, right? Like how would you balance the skill and chance element of Dominoes with okay, players with more hacking skill get more Dominoes. I was about to get to that. Artificity says not to detail, but Shadowrun has issues like L5R in that there's lots of things you can do, but it's so hard to do them together. Yes, that's true. That is definitely a pitfall of L5R. And that's why you get like winter courts with to give the combat monkeys something to do. You have like sumai tournaments or sparring. Like bodyguards are that's why like Yojimbo are so itchy to duel in winter court. I bet just because they're so bored, just like the players. Anyhow, so yeah, like lowering our sights a bit from the stars and closer to home, we have got up next on Kickstarter an RPG called Reclaimers. A Reclaimer, rather. This is a game of climate crisis and eco insurrection. So not only is it's a bit more near future, I guess. Um, this is by Chad Walker. It started, I guess, a couple of weeks ago because it has 17 days to go. It has already exceeded its goal of 10,000 US dollars with 557 backers pledging $16,406. So this is I like the art already. It reminds me of Titanfall a bit. No? The suit and stuff looks pretty cool. The cover art is by Vadim Kashin. In case you guys are curious, that is gorgeous. I like how it's almost a blend of Titanfall and Fallout with the scavenged aesthetic. Yeah, you're gonna say Titanfall too, which I have yet to finish. But thank you. Yeah, it's got co-op. I know. It means I'll have to reinstall Origin. All right, so this doesn't have a fancy video up front, so let's get to the meat and potatoes, the body of text that follows this gorgeous, gorgeous cover art. So, um, Reclaimer, a game of science of climate crisis and eco-insurrection, is a sci-fi tabletop RPG about saving humanity from a climate-related extinction event being ushered in by oligarchs and technocrats building massive space arcs to flee the environmental ruin they created. In Reclaimer, players play as members of Ecotage, the militant vanguard of the Reclamation, a global movement to save a dying planet and avoid extinction that is only a few years away. While reclamation efforts, such as dismantling toxic industries, healing biomes, sequestering carbon, and so on, are happening all over the world with urgency, there remain powerful holdouts who threaten the cause, the embarkers. The embarkers are powerful moguls and magnates who have rejected the reclamation and seek to flee the planet on arcs, colossal generational starships designed to carry a very small and privileged portion of the global population to the nearest um, inhabitable planet. Ecotage, Artificity says, is probably like sabotage. I like it. Yeah, Ecotage. Good thinking. Um, yeah, I agree. To ensure they have the material resources, personal expertise, and technological advances required to survive the long journey, the embarkers are directing their arcs to harvest whatever they can with aggression and abandon. Not only are they laying siege to platform cities, Ziggurat shaped arcologies and other population centers for resources and technology, but they are also fracking, deep core mining, deforesting, expelling carbon, and spilling waste into water without restraint, speeding up the planet's projected death spiral. The reclaimers then have no choice but to embrace militancy to stop the embarkers and to save the rest of humanity from extinction. Um, However, conventional force is not viable. Okay. Um, if threatened with overwhelming military force, the embarkers would readily deploy weapons of mass destruction that would but ensure the planet's doom. They've little concern for irradiating a planet they intend to leave. The only way to stop the embarkers then is through sabotage, insurrection, and other asymmetric means. Enter ecotage. Ecotage. As members of Ecotage, you and your fellow players are clandestine, military, and or technology specialists who must infiltrate embarker environments, stir up insurrection among their workforce, sabotage their pipelines of production, steal plans for self-sustaining systems, and support emergency reclamation efforts to countermand the ARC's most ecologically damaging projects. Your goal is to stop the embarkers at any cost, to commandeer land and dismantle their arcs, or create so much chaos that they flee the planet immediately instead of continuing to inflict irreparable harm. This is a game of armed resistance in defense of the planet, and of extracting vengeance on those who would rather doom us all than submit to humanity's collective action to survive climate crisis. It's also a game about oppressed and forgotten peoples who have taken back their land, their stories, and their lives from privileged cowards who would burn everything before ceding their power. I like it. Honestly, like, I mean, it's a bit not related, but of the three Robotech stories, like, I liked Invid Invasion the most because of the freedom fighters angle that Scott Bernard, Rook, and so on were, seeing them through that lens. I like that a lot more than, like, Luke Skywalker ripoff, Rick Hunter, Flying Vertex, and so on. So it's yeah, nice. This is another look at the art. I'm guessing this is yeah, an embarker. There you go. He looks too neat to be a reclaimer or an ecotage operative. So the caption is an embarker harvester unit. Everything is ours to burn. JP could probably say this in the Firebat voice, and it would sound so good. I can't do the Firebat voice, unfortunately. So, the product, the RPG is 200 to 30 to 300 pages long. It's a PDF. I don't think it sounds like they aren't doing a print run. Um, it's been illustrated by nearly a dozen artists with at the top of their game. So there's a lot of full page and half page spreads of high tech military mayhem, sci fi dystopian doom, and transhumanism, alternately bleak and hopeful. Captain Planet the RPG. I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like their rings of power. Um, but yeah, I guess if Captain Planet were, you know, um, Spec Ops, maybe that there's an intersection there. A combination of art commissioned for this project and licensed art too sick to not have a home. This is a standalone game that provides everything. You'll need to run and play the game and uses its own rule system. I wonder if they talk about the rule system. Okay, so right, they've got they're telepaths because they say at this point you might be thinking, wait, PDF only, no print run. That's because this environmental RPG is environmental, so they're focusing exclusively on a PDF, just digital version of the game, and hope to make a delightful experience to use in conjunction with online role playing tools like Roll20 and others. So not only are they going to make a beautiful form fillable PDF like character sheet, um, And they say that you can click fill health bubbles. Interesting. But they're also contracting Christian Nome to make the game manual an absolute breeze to navigate. Why Christian Nome? Because of the miracles he performed for his own sci-fi RPG Titan Effect. And we can watch this video to see the future of interactive PDFs. Ooh, I want to see this video. I want to see the future. Okay. Nice. I wonder if this is related to one of our upcoming topics, like smartphone optimized PDFs on DriveThru RPG. Will all what do you call this? Like table of contents be like that? Interesting. Interesting. So they're gonna be doing that same magic for Reclaimer. Um, you won't even want a print version after you glide through the thing. They say. Nice. So the PDF itself will be in landscape orientation and also be available in EPUB. So it's assigned so that I guess you can view it sideways on a smartphone, like 2 pages at a time, maybe, or like what the experience would be of viewing 2 pages at a time. I know that's how I like to read PDFs on my desktop. Anyway, I haven't tried it yet on a tablet because I don't have a tablet. So yeah, definitely like they're not even doing a physical version. They're putting all their effort into making the best digital RPG product that they can. Interesting. Very cool too. Like, you know, the medium being in line with the message and theme and all that. So, okay, this is a hybrid of traditional RPG and story game principles. So it needs a game master and relies on character skill checks to resolve dramatic situations. But the narrative reins are in the hands of the players when it comes to describing the outcomes of roles. So it's never a question of do I succeed or not, but instead, everyone is has the opportunity to take turns talking about how awesome their character is and how awesome the things they're doing are. Okay, okay. Um, hang on. Okay, up, up. There we go. Character creation is a combination of the hyper customization that people have come to expect from RPGs, coupled with character class playbooks. Okay? There are 8 playbooks, all designed by talented 2D artists and photo bash extraordinaire Abrara Khan, who has also done work for AAA video game studios. So some of the playbooks, I guess, are the Bulwark, sounds like the tank. The Wraith, sounds like the assassin type. Mesmer, some kind of mage that deals with illusions. The Revenant, uh, I don't know what that would do. The Signaler, and the Psychokinetic. Interesting. Oh, stupid me. The descriptions are right here. The bulwarks are, you play them if you want to be the hard charger with extensive training in conventional modern warfare. Emphasis on squad tactics, fire superiority, and close quarters battle. Okay, they're not just tanks; they're also team players who make the entire unit stronger. Mesmers are uh, holographic optics augmentation specialists. They project digital hallucinations limited only by their imagination. So kind of like the Green Lantern, but soft illusions, not hard light projections. Directly into the retinas of anyone who looks upon them. Psychokinetics are, I guess, more like warlocks. So yeah, damage dealing, clandestine killer and squad support whose latent psychokinetic potential has been awakened and actualized by BioWare, designed to situate a once mythological power back into the realm of physics. Okay, revenants are augmented laborers whose entire physiology has been transformed, permitting them to survive and thrive in spaces hostile to human life. Okay. Built to be the eternal worker, they can seize their own means of production to become a war machine. I don't know what I just did. sickle and hammer and all that. Signaler, technical specialist fluent in SIG, the complex merger of sign language and programming language used to interact with drones and mechs and systems controlled through uh, gestural interface. So they are using um, they're using it's a bit like what do you call this? Which Gundam is that where they don't actually control the thing, but they're on a stage where they act stuff out, act out like what their Gundam is supposed to do. It's the one with G Gundam. There, thank you. So that's what they're doing. Okay, they can bind technology to their will with little more than a hand gesture. Artificity says he can see the charm of the aesthetic and its strong future FPS video game inspiration. It's not bad, but might not be for them at first glance. I know it's like it's a bit of a yeah. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. Um, Siren, chaos agent whose vocal cords have been augmented to shout at soul-crushing decibels and mind-altering frequencies. Nice. They can literally scream the armor and flesh off of foes or release a wail that jams all communication channels. Nice. I feel that one is a bit like one track, you know. But it's still cool. The Wraith finally is an asymmetric warrior leveraging ambush, misdirection, deep terrain knowledge, and hit and run tactics to take on and evade conventionally superior forces. The Wraith picks their battles and they never fight fair. Okay, so Spec Ops, Commandos. Cool. There's one more playbook coming up that they haven't settled on yet, and maybe some more. I wonder if those are part of stretch goals. Okay, the core mechanic. Here we go. Um, okay, so these are the same core mechanics that drove Cryptomancer. I wonder if they made that one. Let's check that out. So it's very simple. You make a skill check, you roll a number of d10s equal to your skill rating, and you always roll 5 dice. If your skill rating is less than 5, you make up the difference with d6s. So, for example, if your athletics rating is 3, you're rolling 3d10 plus 2d6. A result of 6 plus on any of the dice is considered a hit, while a result of 1 on any dice is considered a botch. Players are trying to score as many hits as possible because the more they roll, the more they own the narrative. Interesting. So it's not like roll dice only when appropriate. It's roll dice, roll dice, roll dice. That's what they're pushing. Sounds like. And I like this is a pretty interesting mechanic too. So I guess 5 is the highest rating of any. So yeah, when you roll, um, like the best roll you can have, like with the highest stat, is rolling 5d10, and you've got lots of chances to get a 6 or higher. But if you're missing, if you come short of a rating of 5, um, every rating for every number you fall short of 5, you replace a d10 with a d6, where you have only a 1 in 6 chance of getting that um, a success, a positive hit. Cool. And then there are degrees of success. So if you end up with um, evens, right? So the positive and negative hits cancel out. That's a marginal failure. So you just failed at the task. Um, so the GM says how you failed it, but the player adds some kind of silver lining. Okay. Um, +1, a +1 result gets you. The player gets to narrate the outcome of the skill check, but the GM adds a little complication. A solid success is when you get 2 positive hits, and the player just narrates the outcome of the task. On the other end, a solid failure is when you get a -1 um, net result. And then critical failure is a -2 or less, and the dramatic success is a critical hit is 3 successes or more. Cool. All right. So just Beyond like additional systems include BioWare that convert botches to hits, Cyberware that lets you count dice results of 10 as multiple hits, and other talents like in playbooks and stuff like that that let you buy certain types of successes at the cost of fatigue and so on. All right, lots of permutations. So let's see if we can find any stretch goals. Um, no stretch goals. This is not your typical RPG Kickstarter campaign. The pledge options are named Solidarity and Collective Action for a reason. So there are no stretch goals. Regardless of the pledge you select, everyone will just get the PDF. However, once the project is 100% funded, 50% of all additional funding will be distributed equally, equitably as opposed to equally between everyone who helped make Reclaimer a reality. Artists, climate consultants, editor, layout artists, and partners. Their stretch goal reward is very simple. Everyone's hard work and expertise will be rewarded in the most material of ways. It's important to note that everyone already has been paid for their work, so the $10,000 funding mark represents how much everyone was paid to see this project through. This profit sharing model was not part of contract negotiations, nor was it dangled like a carrot to cajole people into working for less. Everyone was already paid fairly from the start, and now they're going to ambush them with more money. Yes, that is indeed pretty cool of them. I can get behind this model. It's pretty cool. They've decided to use Kickstarter platform to attempt a new look when it comes to the economics of the tabletop industry, RPG industry. The business side of the hobby we all love often suffers from low margins, um, economic inequity, and sometimes cruel valuation of certain types of work. This is not a problem set we can simply scale our way out of if we get enough sales. So they're not implying that their approach is the way it should be. Every company and every independent creator has their own priorities and constraints to consider. They're not throwing shade at other models. Rather, this is simply their economic model that they want to try out. Hopefully, it works for this project, and they hope it's a model that others might consider replicating. Nice, but that's largely up to you. Uh, honestly, honestly, it's an experiment and one that might actually totally backfire in their face. But they've got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, as the saying goes. And real change in the tabletop industry will occur when players and customers are willing to throw down to support new economic models. This is quite relevant to like one of our upcoming topics as well, and very interesting considering the recent I don't want to say scandal, but I guess it is a scandal like that Kickstarter is involved in about union busting. But that's on the side of Kickstarter, not so much the side of RPGs that are working on Kickstarter and those people on that and getting paid. But that is indeed pretty cool. So as they said, there are pledges. So you can just throw $5 as a tip, but $20 or more, you get the Reclaimer PDF. So after the game is 100% funded, this is the Solidarity Pledge. 50% of all post-funding profits will be shared equitably with the game's contributors. Um, okay, this is collective action. So you get the PDF and you'll be credited in the game for your solidarity. You are selecting this pledge amount because you want to see this type of economic model succeed in the gaming industry. Okay, so it's the same, but you're just be able to offer more. Okay, so that's what collective action is. Okay, um, nice. So there are ways to like back specifically which um sections, which facets of the team, like you want to back. So if you want, um you can have an extra $5 go to the artists, to the editors, to the layout artists, and I guess that those are the three options. Artificity, no problem. Yeah. I think, yeah. I'll see you later. I'm seeing you later anyway. So yeah. Hope catch you back in chat sometime soon. Thanks for tuning in and keeping me company and pointing stuff out. Always so helpful. Our regulars in chat. Thank you very much. Cryptomancer. I guess these are the same people. Chad Walker. Is it? Yeah, Chad Walker as well. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So yeah, that is Reclaimer. Again, a game of climate crisis and eco-insurrection. You can check it out on Kickstarter. If you're wondering where to get these links, you can just type, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, exclamation point topics, and that should get you the list of topics and links that we are featuring today here on Table Talk. So let's get to our next topic. This is related, I guess. This is that Reclaimer is working within the system of Kickstarter to kind of see, like what alternative models you can use within the Kickstarter system. I guess this one in this article by Geek Native on Geek Native by Andrew Girdwood is might be talking about a different, you know, um, method altogether, a different platform. So let's see. The title is by funding a better crowdfunding alternative to Kickstarter. So Kickstarter transformed the tabletop RPG gaming scene, both with board games and role-playing games. And it's absolutely true that the industry is thriving and Kickstarter has been a big part of it. But it's not come without costs and complications. Um, Retailers aren't finding as much joy in Kickstarter as publishers and customers are. In many cases, Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns cut out the retailer, allowing customers to buy or back directly from the publisher. The success of crowdfunding games has also made it very hard for retailers to manage inventory, with so many products and people's buying habits changing in response. Then there's the ethics issue. First, Kickstarter's management disallowed a Nazi punching game. Then they seemed to fire employees who had been trying to arrange a union in response. More recently, repeating their belief that a union is wrong for the company. Evil Hat Publishing was so alarmed that they put their Agon Kickstarter on pause, only returning cautiously to the platform because the fledgling union insisted that they did not want a boycott. Newcomers Broken Dice on their very first Kickstarter even saw the need to comment on the controversy. Publishers are clearly watching the situation Kickstarter and some are worried. But is there an alternative? Philip Lonkar of Ordowalea Publishing may have found one. And you might think of it as buy funding because you can pop over to DTRPG and buy Domain's Horror our, our role-playing system core rulebook right now. It's only a few bucks. You can use Domain's Horror right away to play a game, yet it's not finished. Loncar estimates it's only 15% funded, having enjoyed 450 euros of sales on a 3,000 euro target. Okay, free updates makes buy funding possible. Loncar's model relies on a nifty feature of DriveThru RPG. Once you've made a purchase there, then all updates to your PDF are free. When publishers tweak their book in response to customer feedback, fix typos, and or add an index, then DTRPG automatically emails everyone who's bought a copy. Each mail contains a personalized link to download the upgraded copy. As a result, Loncar can release a playable but lightweight product on the system and promise customers that if there are enough sales, then there will be improvements to the game. There is a downside in that it's an adaptation of DTRPG's retail platform, and there's not the same transparency as on Kickstarter. It's hard to tell just how well Domain's Horror is selling, and supporters just have to trust Ordoalea Publishing. Interesting. So the question is buy funding any easier for publishers to manage? So KS campaigns can be intense, but most are over in 30 days. Buy funding has the potential to last months, or if sales come more swiftly than expected, pile on immediate pressure to write more. So the author posed the question directly to Philip Loncar, and he asks, "It's early days yet, but how stressful have you found by funding Domain's Horror on DTRPG?" Well, it's just as stressful as any other job. The worst thing is the daily checking of the progress and then updating it on the various sites and social media to keep everyone up to date with the sales. It's honestly nerve wracking having to keep in mind that you have to be the one doing the transparency yourself. Always thinking, what if I don't update fast enough? So the next question he's posed is that uh, so he did he adopt this model due to complexities with crowdfunding in Croatia, and like why exactly? It's quite simple. Croatia is not within the allowed list of countries to start a Kickstarter from. Also, due to the fact that he does have a day job, um, he wants to do all of this legally. He would have to pay exorbitant taxes for every transaction. If he wanted to do all of this legally, there would be huge taxes for every transaction he would make with Kickstarter. Meaning that if he put the money from KS on his account, he would have to forfeit some 67%, wow, of all the earnings um, that he would make, which isn't a problem, but he can't pay the editors and the artists that way. Uh, okay. So, how did you work out the pricing for the mains horror? Right now, purchasers who buy the game only pay 4.99 euros, but people who discover the game once it's finally finished will pay 9.99. I was told not to do that honestly, but I felt guilty for putting an unfinished product without any coverage on the market. The cost was calculated by taking into account the money he needed to fundraise, the estimated amount of people are willing to give for an indie game, and the fact that he is an unknown studio so far. The price was then decided to be a bit less than €5, which would net him 3.49 after the 30% platform cut. So with that, he only needs 980 purchases to be 100% funded, and as of his writing, he is nearing the 60% mark. He'll once again put his own funds on his paycheck to help boost the product. Also, the full cost of such a game in the industry is €10, so he lowered it once again to be under €10 and to keep a competitive price without undercutting anyone. This also goes towards his idea of inclusiveness, hoping to tell other indies that it's okay to price their games accordingly. So, what does DTRPG, the platform itself, think? They're fine with the approach and are happy to see publishers experimenting with different models. However, the recommendation is that publishers start with a PDF first, even something basic with no art. Evil Hat has done something similar with the Fate Accessibility Toolkit. As it happens, Geek Native reviewed the toolkit when it came out, and it doesn't appear to have been updated since. That particular buy funding experiment has become a gold bestseller, so updates do seem likely, although Evil Hat has neither put a structure nor a timeline to the project, just a general commitment. So, yeah, that's one alternative. I suppose, I guess, um, what that basically means is that, yeah, they're leveraging an entirely different platform, entirely different system to kind of, you know, um, put out games incrementally. So it's not quite like Kickstarter where you kind of expect a finished product. Um, you're banking on the promise, the potential of a product, and that other people will want to back it too. And when you hit the target, it's ideally gonna push through, right? And but you don't know quite what it's like. This one is somewhat different. You're gonna get the unfinished product right away, and you're banking on, I guess, also the potential of it. But you're getting stuff incrementally. Like you'll be getting updates to the PDF as it goes along, as it keeps um, getting more sales, right? The publisher can put the publisher developer rather can put um, more add more meat to those bones as it goes on. Interesting, but it lacks the transparency of Kickstarter, where you can see the progress of the pledges and stuff like that. Hmm. It Yeah, I don't know what to think. Um, Both have their own pitfalls, I guess. I will say though that I do like what Reclaimer is trying to do with having no stretch goals, but they're being very equitable with how they distribute the wealth, the money that they're getting. So instead of stretch goals adding more work, and more content, and you're just rewarding um, the these people more. And what does that mean? That could mean that they can put out another Kickstarter. Like instead of a stretch goal, it's a different product. Maybe it's priced lower because it's gonna be a smaller product, but then they're not overworked, right? And there's no danger of the initial Kickstarter getting too bloated to to deliver. I think that's like one good knock-on effect of what the people at Reclaimer are trying to do, rather the people behind Reclaimer are trying to do. Kind of interesting. I like it. Speaking of other things that are new on DriveThru RPG, you have got a new phone PDF format making its way um, onto the platform. So a phone PDF is a new downloadable file format. These are normal PDF files that have been reformatted by the publisher to work well on typical size phone screens. So gamebook and comic PDFs use the same page size as printed hard copy editions. Um, the typical ones anyway. It works great on tablets and monitors, but not on your smartphone so much. It's kind of hard to zoom and pan and whatever. Yeah, it's tough on the eyes. So to solve this, um, they've they're pushing out uh, a new PDF format that uses a page size similar to your phone's screen size. Yeah, all of the same content is there. Um, and with this familiar layout and artwork, but they're just designed differently. So um let's see, if is this still for free? Onyx Path's Pugmire in phone PDF format. Okay, so yeah, there is nice. So you can get Pugmire um for free to try out on your smartphone, to try this new PDF format. So just click the link over here in the article. Again, you can get this article link by typing in on Twitch or YouTube exclamation point topics, and that'll get you the link. Just go over here to this article from DriveThru RPG phone PDF format. There is a link to a free smartphone phone PDF version of Pugmire, which is D&D 5e but with dogs. So, okay, these what makes the phone PDFs different from regular PDFs? So they're designed so you can quickly navigate them by touch using links in the PDF instead of relying upon bookmarks and other navigation. I wonder if it'll work the same. Okay, so let's check out and download and see how well this works. Okay. I guess it should work the same way when I open it, right? On my browser. Do authors have to design for both formats? I don't think it's a must. Um, but it is an option. It's a separate item. It looks to be a separate item, like on the RPG's um, DTRPG page. Ooh, okay, interesting. So yeah, definitely smaller format. You can see. I don't think the links will work with a regular browser. Oh, some do. Interesting. And then you can there are buttons up here down here at the bottom of the page to quickly view the contents. Get back to the contents page, table of contents. Nice. Let's go on. Let's read the article. find out. So okay, there are quick links menus at the front of the book, so you can easily reach the most often referenced part of the book. And there's also links in the footer section of the page, each page to help you navigate through the PDF easily, pretty much bringing you back to the table of contents or the quick links area. Um, yeah. So okay, so yeah, the how to purchase phone PDFs. If you browse the categories in the browse categories on the site, look for format, phone PDF copy. Let's see what other RPGs have this format. Format, phone PDF. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. A lot more than I thought than I expected. So you can check out. It takes a lot of extra effort, professional, design work for publishers to create phone PDFs, and a few publishers will offer phone PDFs as a bonus file when you purchase the regular digital version of their title. Please consider showing them some appreciation when they do. So I guess yeah, it's not a must for authors to design for both formats because they do recognize it's a lot of extra effort. But yeah, it is an option now. So due to the work involved, most publishers will need to charge something extra for this file format. Look for bundles on the site where the phone PDF version of a title is offered in a bundle with the regular digital edition of the title. And if you've already purchased the regular digital edition, the bundle price will be discounted. So you're only paying for the smaller cost of the phone PDF version, and you're essentially only paying for the up. There you go. So some of the games right now that have phone PDFs, the most popular ones include Zweihander, Masks, which is powered by the Apocalypse World Engine superhero game. You've got Castles and Crusades. You've got what are the other ones I know? Versus the Empire. What is this? Versus Mars as well. Versus Pirates. What are these versus games? You've got Dungeon in a Day. Pugmire's there. I guess that's it. That looks like it's still quite limited, but that's understandable. It's very new. Okay, this is interesting. I'll check this out again later. Okay. So we'll cap off the stream with I guess something a bit humorous. So in case it hasn't dawned on you yet, this article is probably half for the lulz because you have you know Chevy Chase on it as Pierce from Community when he played the that guy at an RPG table that you never want to have around. So this is over on Lifehacker by Nick Douglas. How to kick someone out of your D&D group. So again, this is probably going to be quite tongue in cheek. So grain of salts, grain of salt, and all that. Um, a tabletop gaming group is a weird social commitment halfway between project and just hanging out. Some groups treat things casually and players come and go all the time. Some treat the regular games as a strict standing appointment and the makeup of the group as a permanent roster. Where do we fall, I wonder? Um, this makes it especially tricky when one player is making the others unhappy, and very tricky when you need to ask a player to leave the group. What you don't want to do is take out negative real world feelings um, in game. Big no no, yeah. It works great as an episode of Community, but even subtly punishing players in game for real problems can turn sour or even encourage dickish behavior. You need to approach this like a mature adult, or alternately, like a coward. I guess it's a bit less tongue in cheek than I thought. Okay, seems a bit serious. So, how to prevent conflict? Kicking a player out of your group should be a last resort, says Hunter Elliott, RPG coordinator at the Brooklyn Strategist Game Center. As a pro DM in D&D and other tabletop RPGs, Hunter tells Lifehacker he tries to keep everyone communicating their expectations and desires in the game, so conflicts can be resolved without getting rid of a player. Presumably, your friends are all playing together because you get along and you're all interested in D&D and the story of the game, he says. But players can want very different things out of a game. So Hunter advises making the balance of desires more explicit to the players. It's quite possible that one player is interested in combat and defeating foes, and another is bored by combat and wants to get deep into character. So not everyone is comfy getting into intense role playing, and in these cases, talking about different players' goals together can help everyone understand what scenes are about and respect that another player is getting their turn right now, so to speak. That's nice. Yeah, communication is always key. Um, Definitely. Um, and yeah, part of communication is setting expectations. And if everyone is transparent about what they want out of a game, right? Or if the DM is transparent about like what this part of the game is about and who it's servicing among the players, I guess that's good. As long as everyone gets their turn. How to kick out a player. But some players refuse to respect each other's desires for play. And that can, so this is the last resort thing coming in. That can range from players who take radically different approaches to a playing session to players who disrespect their fellow players as people, even making bigoted or hostile remarks. It, you know, I understand that, but then some people don't know how to deal. Some people don't know how to deal, right? Like my younger self would probably be lost on how to deal with this kind of situation, honestly. And yeah, it's these things are helpful. That's how I view them ultimately. They are yeah, they are helpful nuggets of wisdom that their respective authors have chosen to, charitably put out into the world. Okay, depending on whether this spectrum or depending on where on the spectrum the problem lies, you might want to pull someone out of a gaming group but not end your friendship. That can actually cause more feelings than simply cutting ties altogether. But Hunter suggests making the break feel as mutual and non confrontational as possible. So, as the DM, you might want to talk to the player one on one because you are the closest thing your group has to a leader. That's right. Like a lot of responsibility is on the shoulders of the DM. Um, yeah, I do not envy the DM or GM who has to do this. In a one-on-one situation, try being honest with them and explaining that their playstyle just isn't working with the group. Remind them that you can be friends with someone without playing with them, and suggest perhaps that they check other communities for a group that fits what they want more. I am trying to imagine how this might go with some people I know. Not that I don't like playing with them, but say I took exception or the group, the table took exception to the way they played. This might be hit or miss. I don't know, but I guess it's still better, to talk about it as adults, right? Um, and be like as non-confrontational as possible. I think it's very important that you do suggest that there are different styles of play for different tables, and it's not like they won't find another table out there that would cater better to what they want. How would I kick you out? I don't know. Like, come up with something that like what about you I might the table would take exception to, and I'll try to answer that question. I think that's fair. Like, what about your playstyle or personality do you think, um, yeah, the table might, a gaming table or gaming group might not like? And I'll work through that. How about that? Um, okay, so a similar approach is even possible when the entire group discusses the problem together with a problem player. So they might understand that the problem if it's presented from the perspective of the entire group. Or that might be a better way for them to understand like what's going on. So keep in mind that it's important to make sure this discussion doesn't turn into an aggressive dynamic where the players feel ganged up on. or the player rather, feels ganged up on. Traditional intervention advice, like avoiding use statements, which sound accusatory, and speaking exclusively from one's own perspective, are important and helpful in this situation. I would find this super hard to adjudicate or referee. Like avoiding use statements, okay, that's kind of easy. Um, or no, that might not be. How do you, God? Okay, so let's say, okay, the problem is that JP is too much into using his Elminster voice. Um, okay. How do you avoid the other players, for example, using use statements, or even he, they, she statements? How do you do that? Okay, so let's say the player says, "I don't like it when the Elminster voice comes up too often." Is I guess that's one way to avoid a use statement, right? Or I don't like it when, yeah, um, when murder hoboing is too frequent. Okay, I guess that's pretty easy. But then that's speaking exclusively from one's own perspective. Also, how do you do this? This piece of advice, I don't know. But okay, back to JP's question. If I were to kick him out of a gaming group for using his Elminster voice excessively, okay, I would probably take you aside, yeah, one on one, JP, and be honest with you and say it isn't working out with the other players because they've had enough of the Elminster voice. Um, I would be honest and say, maybe if you change your voice, that would work. But then they might eventually get tired of that too. So maybe it would be easier for you to choose your moments when to use your Elminster voice, and that would make those moments more special for you as well. We'll give it a try for a couple of sessions, but if we have to talk about it again, no, don't worry. We're still friends, but then maybe this particular gaming group, it's not gonna work out for them, and both you yourself and the other players would be happier if you found another gaming table that might, um, that might enjoy the Elminster voice more. Maybe they're huge fans of Forgotten Realms, or they're huge fans of like really acting out their characters, and it would be fine there. Um, I can even try to help you find a group. I can't promise if I could DM that group as well because I'm pretty. This is getting too real. But yeah, I would. There are other groups out there, and yeah, just because this group doesn't appreciate your Elminster voice, doesn't mean there isn't a group out there that will. Oh come on! Don't be like that. Don't be like that. We're still friends. We're still friends, right? Aren't we? Anyway, I guess that's one way you could try to handle it, and this is like one way this conversation could go. It could go sideways with the player in question saying is fuck you guys, screw you guys, I'll take my talents to South Beach. um and they form like the greatest one of the greatest uh, tabletop gaming groups ever. um so yeah, this can happen. I think this article isn't saying that conflict won't erupt, but that you can't promise that. But I think you can, like, at least as a DM you can be proud of how you handled it, right? And it's up to the other player whether to handle it um as maturely as you did. Yes, roll the one on a persuasion check. That is what you don't want to happen. Okay, so you might find solutions, that don't feel like kicking someone out so much as spreading out the group. So if you have time, you could split the gaming group up into people that enjoy a certain style of play and enjoy another style of play. But yeah, for example, the gaming group, the author of the authors expanded over time until it was impossible to include everyone in every game. But it gave them new opportunities. They ended up splitting into two different gaming nights, a wilder one A wilder one shot with the players who prefer to play freeform character-based sagas. Okay. A wilder one shot with the players who prefer to play freeform, character-based sagas for some players, combat-heavy adventures for others, and sedate puzzle dungeons for those of us who, given an entire universe of possibilities, want to play a virtual escape room. It me, according to the author. Um, yeah. So those are. There's a sneakier method. I don't know if I like where this is going. Um, you can be discreet and size up a lot of hurt feelings by disbanding the group and forming a new one with all but the one player. So this is his suggestion, not Hunter's. Instead of changing the group, you claim you have a schedule conflict and that the group needs to take a break. As in so many awkward social situations, blaming some outside force takes a lot of social pressure off and saves space for everyone. And then quietly reconvene the group without certain players. I don't know about this. Um, I don't know about this because people find out, in the age of social media and Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, the other person's gonna find out. Might as well deal with it like adults, you know? If there's gonna be conflict, I would say take it head on, nip nip that in the bud, even if it's, if you prick your finger in doing so, at least it's not gonna this sounds like a bad idea, honestly. Um so it's not a healthy way to deal with low level problems, but it might be appropriate when the problem player tends to escalate conflict, which tends to crop up in gaming groups. But like when the problem player finds out and they tend to escalate conflict anyway, this is going to be an even bigger issue. Um, Only try this if your players are not frequently spending time together outside of your games, or if you don't intend to see the ousted player again. There's a decent chance someone discovers they've been secretly kicked out. They're going to be furious. Yes, they are. um, yeah. There's also a risk that the group will dissolve. If you're in a group of adults who already have a hard time meeting regularly, even a fake disband gives other players a chance to admit that they wanted to quit anyway. The stress of the whole situation like too much to might feel like too much to them already. So be prepared to accept this gracefully, and that's the point. You can't force people to play games with you, dude. Yeah, this is like I guess it's a way out for everyone if that's what it has come to. But yeah, the many cons to the single pro of getting rid of that one player. It's just and you're just gonna feel dirty after trying this. I would not recommend this sneakier method at all. Um, yeah, definitely not recommended here at Dicecast. Um, who knows? That might be the tongue-in-cheek part of of the of the article, because if I recall correctly, that's what they did in that episode of Community. It was a fake disband to get Pierce out, I think. But yeah, it's really quite underhanded. I agree with JP over in chat. Um, so yeah, that is that for our small weekly roundup of tabletop gaming news and I guess opinion columns. So we'll leave that there. Right now, I've got a couple of things to handle. I've got session 0 for um, for our upcoming Forbidden Lands stream coming up. I will be meeting the players online. We'll be creating characters that won't be streamed. That's because episode 1 is happening live on Saturday, October 19th, starting 3 p.m. So tune in on Dicecast, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch itself, even on Mixer. I hope you guys tune in. We'll be posting a lot more about it on our social media, because my next task, which I will do offline, off stream rather, is to draft a letter to Free League and themselves, Free League Publishing themselves, because I've noticed that on like YouTube channels, they kind of liberally use the art from the game books to promote, to promote, not to promote, they feature art from the game books on their YouTube videos or their streams. Um, and I just wanted to be extra sure that it's okay for us to do that as well. So, um, yeah, I just want to reach out. I want to ask them. Um, I want to, of course, let them know that we're putting together a kick-ass like online stream of their game, and then like very nicely ask if I can possibly use the art assets from their books that I have purchased digital copies of, to not just use in the game, but also to post on social media to promote the game as well. JP asks, "Are you already familiar with Roll20's intricacies?" The ones I'm going to use, yes, like using cards for initiative. I've already um, kind of got that figured out. Also, how to use the um, the advanced combat card decks. Also, how to bring out. I already put together cards for the items, for the artifacts and so on in the game. And also map layers. Uh, I'm working on it. I'm um, putting all that together this week. I rather just the map layers, the cards and stuff I've already done. Um, yeah, yep. If I've missed any intricacies that I might need to know of, let me know. Like over on the Dicecast Telegram or Facebook group, or Discord server. Yes, educate me. I will welcome. I will gladly welcome it. Anyway, that's it for our stream today. Thank you for those of you who tuned in, my fellow Dicecast co-streamer JP Reveus over there in chat. Thank you so much for keeping me company. Artificity, who is a regular on our streams, joining us in chat every so often to to boo us good naturedly, but he will be joining us actually on the Forbidden Lands game. So he's also been on stream before. I think helping me out with another OSR inspired game when I was obsessed with Stars Without Number. Yeah, he joined me on stream, coming up with uh, sector creation and stuff. So thank you for that. And yeah, he'll be a player in the upcoming Forbidden Lands RPG. So those of you who might know him from the south of Manila Tabletop RPG group, there you go. He'll be repping you guys. Um, Also, I can't wait to introduce our other um, our other players as well. So watch out for that on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, um, in the coming days. So that's it for today. For today's table talk, I want to thank you guys again. I will play you out with something special, quite special, um, that JP did earlier. In case y'all missed it, this will be our outro for today. Oops, not full screen. How do I hide? There we go. And can I zoom in further? So it's just the video. Nope, that doesn't. Okay, so this will play us out instead of our usual outro. Um, Thank you again. See you sometime this week if we stream midweek. I probably will. Some kind of prep stream for Saturday's game. We'll see. Or GP might stream video games on whatever Wednesdays. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. This is Mark. And yeah, please do follow, subscribe, like on Facebook, share the videos if you like what you saw. Um, we're Dicecast. And, you know, um, yeah, thank you for watching. Love the game, but love each other more. And this is JP's um, love letter to all our regulars who tune in, and to those of you who will eventually become regulars. Yeah.
Here y'all go. I'm just using this as the music, but don't worry, it's more personalized than that. Oh god.
I can't sing along to this, JP, because I don't know the tune
Fuck me.
as well as you. Do we need a swear jar on our stream? Should we do a swear jar?
God damn.
I'm gonna eat lunch while waiting for this to finish.
I know. It's 12 o'clock on a Monday noon. The regular crowd comes online. There's an old man's webcam right next to me. Well, not today. It flickered right on just in time. He says, dude, can you set up the overlay? Cause I came in late for the show. Oh no, wait, fuck! He says,
Swear number 3.
can you set up the overlay?
Yes, the swear jar.
I came in late for the show. But it's fine, it's alright. Today's topics are light. So let's talk while we play the intro. Blah.
For those of you wondering, JP just did this earlier on the stream. Just before this one, it's his thank you to all our regulars who've been with us,
It's alright, guys. I mean,
you
not
know, over the past several months.
show, you're the streamer, man. Give us a show tonight. We're all in the mood for a table talk, and you've got us feeling alright. Dysek is totally in the chair dancing right now. Aww.
I don't know why he did this,
You're gonna love the next part.
but it's awesome. And I'm serious, JP, about producing this. Let's make a record. Let's track.
Dice Chuck in the chat is a friend of mine. He gives us his wisdom for free. And he's quick with a pun, here to have some good fun. But the 80s is where he'd rather be. He says, JP, what you just said is killing me. As his palm moves to cover his face. Well, I'm sure you would have got this old reference if you were born in my time and space. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, Sin, welcome to the stream.
Birthday Dice Chuck. Now, Santiago is an indie developer who spends all his time making games. And he's talking with Maury, who's not very sorry to be playing Minecraft all day.
I love that part.
So fuck. I'm jumping the gun again. So much. And Lichcast is preaching good politics as Artificity boos us in jest. Yes, they're typing away in our chatterbox, and that's what makes you all the best. Okay, I'm gonna catch up with chat during this intermission. Fuck.
So yeah, seriously, we can record this at my place, JP. We should try it.
This man has huge balls to sing live.
Sin is dying. She's at work and trying not to laugh out loud.
You're the streamer, man. Give us a show tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a table talk, and you've got us feeling alright. Oh man, I've been immortalized with. No, you've been immortalized with.
I love how there's like 2 concurrent chats ongoing
Others.
in the feature window, and
But I need to
our actual chat on the side.
It's a
It's
pretty
crazy.
for a Monday noon, and my co-streamer gives me a smile.
Is that me?
Cause he knows that it's we they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. And the stream, it sounds like a carnival. And the microphone smells like a Coke.
What does that mean, JP?
And they sit in the chat and put bits in my hat and say, Jesus, just what did you smoke?
Why does the mic smell like a Coke?
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. I love this song, by the way. Show, you're the streamer, man. Give us a show tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a table talk. You've got us feeling alright. Oh, thank you, Dice Friends. Love the game. Love each other more. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm never doing it again. No, we'll see. Maybe if I get...
You don't have to do it again because it's clipped on Twitch.
Thanks to Sarah and Mark.
It's forever here.
To do this. I honestly just put this together just to share with them on our offline Discord. What the?
Okay, that is that. Kudos to JP for having the balls to do this. The actual lyric is beer. Okay. Okay. Right. I got it. Yeah, everyone knows. You don't have to do it again. It's forever on the internet now. So yeah, kudos / RIP JP. I'm kidding. But yeah, that's it for today. Again, thank you so much. We will see you again probably on Wednesday when JP does whatever Wednesdays. Myself for whatever Friday stream I can put together. And then definitely on Saturday for the debut of our newest and I guess our only running like live action live play series, Forbidden Lands. So that's it for today. And I'm signing off for now. Bye guys.